Welcome back to the garage. We're here today to build a Damascus push dagger. I've got a slab of the Damascus that I made for that last project here. It's just about the right size to make a really sweet hidden tang Damascus push dagger. As we know, the most important part of any project is the design, so we're gonna jump right on in. I think I want the blade to be about 2 or 3 inches long, and like I said, we're gonna try to make it a hidden tang design. We'll see how that works out. This is looking really good. Actually, it looks terrible right now because it's covered in angle grinder marks, but we'll fix that with just a little bit of a absolute ton of filing. We're gonna slap this puppy into the vise and get filing on the profile first. This area in particular, the ricasso transition area, is going to be a bit challenging. So we're just gonna try to get everything profiled real quick and then move on to flattening off and doing bevels and all that. Let's do some filing. All right, we got the bevels wrapped up. They are clean and even, and they're now sanded to 400 grit. I also got the finger choil area sanded to 400 grit, and we're now ready to heat treat in my forge. Same style as before. I'm gonna do that thin Satanite wash over it to prevent the scaling, and we're gonna go ahead and quench it into some Parks 50 quench oil. Well, it came out hard and straight, which is a good thing. It's now ready to be tempered because it's really glass hard right now. I tested it with a file. We got some good scale pop. I'm gonna wash it off with water first, get all of that Satanite and any oil that's soaked into that Satanite off before I put it in the tempering oven, because it gets really stinky if you temper with that oil still on there. And since we're not using the ovens at the shop and I'm using a home oven here, I don't wanna ruin my oven with the smell of Parks 50 quench oil. So it's a good idea to wipe it down, maybe use some acetone, something like that, before you throw it in the tempering oven. Just a quick pro tip there. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the oven, and I'll catch up with you again when it's tempered. All right, we got the blade out of the tempering oven. It's looking very nice, crispy golden brown. It's all tempered up right now. We've got to hand sand it. We've got to get the blade ready for etch. We've got to put a handle on it, because if we were to use it right now, that wouldn't be too comfortable. So we got the blade sanded up to 600 grit. It's looking just swell. And I ended up choosing a block of ironwood that I think I'm going to use for the handle. It's a little bit different than anything else that I've been using. Got a little bit more character. I like it a lot. I ended up having to shorten the handle design just a skosh to accommodate this piece of wood, but it's going to be plenty big for at least my hand and probably most people's hands as well. My next step is going to be cutting out this shape with a coping saw, getting it kind of relatively close. And then I'll move on to tuning that profile with files, and from there we'll fit up the tang into the block. So as you guys saw, I just whittled down a little tenon on the end there, and that's so that I can make a rivet out of it when this thing is all done. The plan now is to drill a hole the same size as that tenon all the way through, and then a slightly larger hole the same size as that tang, and get this thing fit up. So clearly we ran into an issue, and that is that I forgot I wasn't fitting a guard onto this, and so I wasn't really very careful with the way that I fit up the tang bolster area of the push dagger into the wood, and so we've got a gap on either side. Thankfully, I have a solution, and that solution is a piece of very thin wrought iron. I'm gonna make a spacer out of this. I'll then fit it up, make it look nice. I'll probably do a hammered texture, and it'll just be a nice little accent piece that goes around the outside. I also have a piece of bronze. I might use the piece of bronze. Well, that little bronze spacer came out just right. I'm gonna do a little bit of heirlooming on the actual bolster blade. I don't even know what it's called on the push dagger, but the metal part, the Damascus part here, is gonna get a little bit rounded out to help blend that transition a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and do some work on the handle now. I need to remove some material off of the bottom side here and the top side right there. And after we get that sorted out, I'm gonna move on to doing the faceting. Okay, the handle is looking really nice. It's all finished out, oiled up. It looks, honestly, it came out so nice. That ironwood looks fantastic. It's now time to etch the blade, coffee etch it, and then we'll, I guess, roll the finishing montage. Well, this was just a super fun project. It came out so unbelievably awesome. It's nice and sharp. It punches holes in things. It's frankly a little bit horrifying. Hopefully no one ever has to use one of these, but they sure are pretty dang cool. The facets came out nice. The ironwood looks amazing. So thank you guys so much for following along. I had an absolute blast getting to build this. Before we end it, let's thank today's sponsor.
And again, Will has knocked it out of the park with this project, showing what can be done with an incredibly basic set of tools. The creativity to use tools in interesting ways to make such a beautiful piece is mind-blowing. Anyway, today's sponsor is Paragon and their heat treating ovens. This one here is the Paragon KM24 Pro, and it is a 3-zone oven. It means that it has 3 thermocouples, which each have their own feedback loop to mean that the entire length of the oven is temperature controlled, as opposed to just one point when you only have one thermocouple. It has embedded elements inside the ceramic baffle, meaning it's incredibly efficient, and the elements are going to be long-lasting since there's only a tiny bit of them exposed to the oxygen. They make a whole host of sizes of heat treating ovens, so there's plenty to pick from. This one here is the KM9 Pro, really nice 9-inch deep model. You'll see it features the Sentinel Smart Touch system, which means it's incredibly easy to go ahead and adjust your parameters for a heat treat and get started right away. The ceramic baffles mean that this is going to heat up incredibly fast. It also means that it's going to cool down very quickly, so when you're wanting to run a temper cycle, that's incredibly important, so you can get it back in for tempering as soon as possible. These ovens are the bee's knees, and if you want to step up your heat treating game, there is no way to do it like getting a Paragon heat treating oven. And we've got some exciting news, which is we're actually going to become a dealer of Paragon ovens. So if you want to find out more about Paragon and their ovens now, check out the link in the description below. And if you want to get one through us, stay tuned. Over the next couple of months, we'll have some available. Thank you to Paragon for sponsoring this. Thank you, Will, for making another fantastic video at home. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.